Shalom. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that taught us this word. I just want to do a little video on, measuring the time and how we're living in these times where the Most High is, bringing these prophecies forth and showing signs on the earth, from uproars of the people. I got a couple articles dealing with that. The protests regarding these coronavirus, stay indoors orders. People are getting, fed up with that, and they're taking to the streets. All throughout California, and really all throughout America and the world, really. People are getting tired of that, as well as the famine. We're seeing signs of a famine is starting to start. But yeah, we're definitely living in those times. I was talking to my dad the other day, and he mentioned that this is a time that he's never experienced before. So we're definitely living in interesting times, as well as different earthquakes. All these were predicted in the Bible that all this would happen, earthquakes in diverse places and whatnot. The first scripture is at abc7.com regarding all these protests that are going on throughout California, from North California down to Southern California. Hundreds protest stay-at-home orders in Rancho Cucamonga. Hundreds protested in Rancho Cucamonga on Sunday to call for an end to California's stay-at-home order. Video from the demonstration showed protesters standing close together and not obeying the 6-foot distancing guidelines issued by the state and most health authorities. Many appeared not to be wearing masks. Protesters are seen waving American flags and saying the national anthem. Others carried signs and slogans reading liberty and freedom before safety and security, and freedom over fear. Because this is their country. Jake isn't really, especially if you're in this truth, you look for this. You're looking for the downfall and destruction of America. But these Edomites, they're seeing their country go down, man. They're seeing it. No one who participated in the demonstration was arrested. About 300 protesters showed up. The protest comes at the heels of a handful of others throughout Southern California, including Orange County. They just recently shut down the beaches as well. But I think they reopened a few of them, but during the morning hours only, because people were protesting and complaining about that and not being able to go to the beach. But this coronavirus shutdown, people all over, America are protesting. You're seeing uprises of the people, throughout the states. This one is from Fox News. Coronavirus shuts down. What states have seen protests against stay-at-home orders? So I mentioned Washington State, California, all throughout California, Michigan. We had protests. Michigan, Pennsylvania. The streets of Harrisburg on April 20th were lined with hundreds of protesters. Alabama, New York, Virginia, Texas. You Can't Close America rally, and across America, I'm not going to go into the article, but just wanted to list out the different states, as experiencing the uprises of the people. So we're seeing the beginning of famine. Came across an interesting article today. I was watching TV and I came across this, and I found the article on it. It says Wendy's pulls burgers off menu in some locations due to meat shortage. So yeah, a lot of these meat packing plants are all closing down because of the coronavirus. A lot of these workers are getting laid off, so there's definitely a shortage, meat meat shortage that's going on. You can see that even within your local grocer, you know, shortage of meat, shortage of different things, and that's just going to escalate. Uh, Meat shortages at grocery stores and other food retailers across the nation have turned a famous 1980s catchphrase into an ominous question at some Wendy's location around the country. Where's the beef? Some Wendy's restaurants have taken their signature hamburgers off the menu, with shortages being reported at locations in California, South Carolina, and Kentucky on Monday as coronavirus outbreaks continue to disrupt the meat supply chain. Just skipping down, some of the nation's largest meat processing plants have temporarily shuttered operations due to the outbreak. The closures have halted 25% of pork production and 10% of beef production in the U.S., according to Bloomberg. Some customers protested on Twitter about being notified by their local Wendy's at store locations or on the company's app that there was a beef shortage. The fast food chain isn't the only food purveyor feeling the pinch, as the grocery chain Kroger has announced it will limit ground beef and fresh pork purchases in some of its stores. Costco has also said it will be restricting purchases of fresh beef, pork, and poultry items to 3, per customer. So that's all part of prophecy playing out. And these scenes right here, like in this photograph, is looking very more and more familiar, around the globe. But yeah, it's all part of prophecy, as well as the earthquakes. I did a quick little Google search, and of course there was a 4.0 earthquake in off of South California around 1:30 a.m. this morning. It was 7 miles from Calipatra, California. And the recent earthquakes, you had little small ones, throughout the week. May 1st, May 3rd, and May 6th all had different small little tremors. But that, in fact, is, earthquakes in diverse places. First scripture I want to get is 2 Ezra 9:1. He answered me and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when thou shalt be seen earthquakes, uproars of the people in the world, those are the two major ones, and just provided documentation on that. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah, since the beginning, the prophets that came before us, they yearned to see this, and now we get to see it now in this time, the beginnings of sorrows. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, endings and effects and signs. So you ever seen the signs, seen the effects, the uproars of the people, and it's pretty, calm and, non-violent now, but eventually these protests are going to get violent, they're going to turn into, violent riots, race riots as well. And this famine that we're on the cusp of is going to increase as well. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 18. I'll start at 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? This is the vision that Ezra got. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine, plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things that shall not turn from their wickedness, they, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be cheap, good cheap upon the earth, and they shall think themselves be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Yeah, I mean, we can get victuals cheap now. It's another prophecy. You know, a 99-cent burger. You can go to the store right now, get you a cheap deal. All these fast food restaurants that are still open, you can get you a nice little deal. Victuals be shall be so good cheap upon the earth. But soon you won't be able to do that, as we read in about Wendy's. Soon you're not gonna be able to get a $1.99 burger. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. So yeah, if the famine doesn't get you, the sword is going to get you, unless, the Most High is with you. If you're part of that elect number, 144,000 and 1/3, that's the Lord is going to deliver from all that. So, you just got to stay rooted and settled, grounded, and keep the faith in these times, man. Because it's going to get bad, So with that, shalom.